Hello YouTube, how is everyone doing today? This is the Aspiring Scholar here with a tabletop review of the Rock Island Armory 1911 in 45. I bought this 1911 from a local gun shop about 6 months ago, and I've got about 1,000 rounds through it, so I figured now would be an appropriate time for me to do a tabletop review. Now this is not stock stock Rock Island anymore. As you can see, I've changed out the grips here. These are actually surplus NATO grips that I bought off Amazon for about $11. They are rubber, and I like the more traditional sort of World War I era look here. Also, the internals, I changed out all the springs with Wilson Combat, and I also changed out the firing pin with Wilson Combat. Now, it's not that there was anything particularly wrong with the original ones. It was more that it was just a relatively inexpensive and easy drop-in upgrade that I kind of figured, why the heck not? In addition to the original magazine that came with it, I believe this is made by Act Mag out of Italy. Great magazine, but I also got a couple other ones. I got a Wilson Combat mag here, and I also, the one that I keep in it is a Kim Pro Tac mag. The reason I went with this one to keep in it is because, as you can see, it's flush here, so when it's actually in the firearm, it goes completely flush here. The other ones are better for reloads because you can just kind of push them right in with the butt pad there. I would probably have kept the Wilson Combat magazine in as the carry mag, but it's not a removable butt plate, and I didn't know that when I bought it. So this is my primary backup mag, followed by the original Act mag. After about 1,000 rounds and 6 months of carrying it, I can say that really it's a fantastic firearm. The only issue I ever had with it was there are certain brands of hollow points that it is not a fan of. For those of you that have Academy Sports and Outdoors in your areas, you'll know the Monarch brand. This does not like Monarch hollow points. It does like Monarch ball rounds though, and that's usually what I fire through it at the range, as well as American Eagle, the Federal American Eagle rounds. Loves those. And also, when I changed out the recoil spring, I think the Wilson Combat spring is a little bit of a heavier spring than the original Rock Island spring. So for the first 1 or 200 rounds on the Wilson Combat spring, on occasion it would not lock back on the last round on this magazine. And occasionally also it would not lock back on my Kim Pro mag, but I've never had any problems with it locking back on the Wilson Combat mag. I don't know why that is. That's just something that happened. But now the spring's kind of had some work. It's had a couple hundred rounds through it on that new spring. It runs great. I have no problems with it. This is my primary carry and nightstand firearm, and I have no reason to not trust it. For those of you not familiar with Rock Island, I bought this at my local gun store for probably about $420 out the door. I'd actually gone in and traded in another firearm, but the sticker price of it was $420. So I bought one of those, and just for shits, I also bought one of the Rock Island snub-nose revolvers, the 38 snub-nose. It kind of looks like a Colt Detective clone, though to be honest, it's not as good as Colt Detective. While their 1911s are excellent, their snub-nose revolvers have a couple of things they could probably work on. It seems like the quality control on the revolvers is not quite as good as on these 1911s. Now, this particular one, like I said, I changed out all the springs, changed out the grips, changed out the firing pin, and it goes fantastically. Some people aren't a big fan of the park rise finish. Personally, I love it because whenever I've scratched it, I can just kind of buff it out. It's more of a rugged feel to it. really it's great. I mean, I'm sure it's, for what you get, it's one of those things that you can just kind of build on. You can get drop-in parts for it real easy. You can put in skeletonized triggers and different hammers, and anything that you can put on any other 1911 you can swap out on this base. And it's a cast frame and a forged receiver. So it's really, it's a fantastic gun. And I've heard some people say that, they wouldn't even change out the internals on these guns because they're solid, they're good. Not all the, obviously most of it are MIM parts, but really at this point they've got it down. So if you're looking for a entry-level 1911, something you can have as a project gun, you can work on, you can put in, as you get some money saved up, you can change out things and turn this thing into a race gun if you really want. I haven't had to do any work to get any of the parts to drop right in that I've put on. So I remember when I bought the Wilson Combat firing pin, it seemed like it was just a fraction of an inch shorter than the original firing pin, and I was hoping it wasn't going to give me any light strikes, but it didn't. It just dropped right in and worked just fine. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and go ahead and give this video a like, and I'll see y'all later.